Unscripted. KSU. Quick, tactical conversations from the heart of the power sports industry. In this business, time is torque. So hit the ignition, twist the throttle, and let's fire it up.
Mark Sheffield.
Oh, me?
Episode 5, I believe. Episode 5. We're going to do a Q&A. We got some questions. I'm going to get through a couple of them, and then we'll do another Q&A episode later down the road. But I'm going to start our trusty pod clock and get started with some questions. Hopefully you can help us out and give us some good insights, as you always do. Number 1, I have, it would be great if you could share some detailed examples or hypotheticals showing how a dealer owner, GM, or sales manager might handle inventory that's been on the floor for more than 180 days.
Before we get started on that, isn't this episode 6?
Episode 6. That's right.
All right.
We're doing it live, unscripted, so we're not correcting it. Episode 6. Thanks for the correction.
Get rid of all inventory. So key thing, 180 days, owner, sales manager, walk the floor every week and inventory list. If it's 180 days or older, touch it, look at it, feel it. Is it ready to sell? Is it got parts that have been stolen off of it? Is it clean? Does it look good? Is it near the front of the showroom so that every customer who comes in has got to trip over it and see it? Do we feature it on our website? Have we done a really good job of making sure that customers know that, hey, we've got this thing and we'd really like to get rid of it? We'd love to find it a new home. We've had really good luck lately. Just going to ChatGPT, taking the link off of the website for that vehicle, hitting ChatGPT and saying, hey, I need a Facebook ad for this machine. Drop the link in there. And within 30 seconds, I got a better ad than I could have ever made in my life that, I can copy and paste right over to Facebook. So that's ChatGPT has been a game changer at this point in time. And I'm not a marketing person, but it's definitely improved my game on that front. The other one that I would say, and kind of a little trick that we've been playing lately, is if you've got that machine that's been on your website for, a period of time, go in and delete that listing and then start fresh with it. So rebuild it, put new pictures up, and Google, whatever the other systems are that are out there, they kind of know that something's been up there for a long period of time. And so they quit paying as much attention to it. And so by deleting that listing and starting fresh with it, it kind of has a fresh look on the internet. The internet kind of thinks that it's new and cool. And so it's going to get more screen time than any of those old listings.
How often are you doing this? Every once a month, you said, looking at that 180-day old inventory?
My recommendation would be every week. When you're talking, a lot of that stuff, you're talking, it's not the old days now when we were selling $39.99 motorcycles. Right. We got $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 UTVs at this point in time. What's the cost to have a $45,000 vehicle sitting on your showroom floor? It's significant. So I think that should just be part of the routine. I visited a dealer just a few weeks ago and spent a few days kind of working with him on some things. And that was one of the things that we uncovered is, looking at not 180-day old inventory, but 365-day old inventory, and then going around and you're like, man, this thing's been sitting in the lot for 6 months. It hasn't had a cover on it. It looks like crap. You're never going to get your money out of it. So let's at least make sure that it's ready to sell, and let's get what we can out of it today.
Good information there. Good feedback. Question 2. What do you do if an OEM is out of cash and can't pay you for the warranty work you do and the customer rebate, reimbursements, etc.? What do you do if the OEM's out of cash, Mark?
Don't want to be hypocritical on this. Back in the day, we've gone through this with Excelsior Henderson, gone through it with Cannondale. Some of you young guys out there probably don't even know that Cannondale made a motorcycle. Actually made an ATV as well. Pretty much bankrupted the company. So kind of one of the reasons you probably haven't heard about them. And we had some stock in hand and had to find ways to get rid of it. And it wasn't cheap. It wasn't easy, but we finally found homes for all of those. With, kind of the industry evolving like it is, the barrier for new companies to get in and build products is a lot easier than it used to be. So I think we're probably going to see a lot of new companies who are kind of entering the market at this point in time. And there's going to be some who don't make it. Dealers a lot of times want to be on the leading edge of cool new stuff. And so we're going to sign some contracts to with some of these brands to kind of have this cool new stuff. And when some of them go away, you just got to cut your losses. So I think I would be looking for the warning signs early on. If you sold a couple of machines and they're already not paying for the warranty claims, I would probably be reaching out to the state and looking at what you can do there. Does your state have any laws in place that are going to protect you on things like that? And if you're 90 days in, 120 days in, and they're not even taking care of you as a dealer, I'd probably be looking at terminating at that point in time. In a lot of states, the manufacturers had to buy the product back, had to buy the parts back. Some they got to buy the tools and the signage. I would just get out before you get in too deep.
That sounds like a massive problem you want to avoid at best at all costs. So question 3, 45 seconds left. What does a good pay plan look like in the sales department?
I can tell you, I've seen a lot of bad ones. There's not one pay plan that works for dealers across the country because different dealers are selling different products. You've got seasonality that comes into play. You have different product types that dealers are selling. Are you selling a lot of high-end stuff? Are you selling small entry-level dirt bikes? So, my recommendation is you really got to kind of look at, what do we want to accomplish? Are we looking for a certain amount of volume? Are we looking for a certain amount of margin? The pay plan we use at our dealership is a mix of the two. And so we actually pay a higher percentage of the margin the more units the employee has sold. And we just run report. We get the gross margin down at the bottom. We look at, and that clock zings by.
It's quick, isn't it? It's quick. It's quicker every week, I think.
I think so. You're speeding it up. So we look at, what's the total gross by salesperson, and then how many units was that, and that determines what percentage of that they're going to make. I think that has worked pretty good for us. We've had the same pay plan in place for 17 years at this point in time, but it's not for everybody. I've seen a lot of different pay plans. I came from a company that, they really promoted having a pay plan that paid a very low percentage on the part of the unit that covered your break even in the dealership, and then you paid a lot bigger piece of the margin above that. I do recommend that whenever you build a pay plan, stress test it. So look at what happens with that pay plan if the dealership is 25 or 50% smaller, and what happens if the dealership is 25 or 50% bigger. And if that pay plan doesn't scale, if it won't last for 5 years, it's not a good pay plan. And the other thing that I would say is that 80% of pay plans that I see across the country are exponentially too complex. So if you've got more than 3 or 4 things that go into that pay plan, you're probably not really promoting the behaviors that you want to see.
Great advice. Your pay plan needs a stress test. I like that a lot. That's good. Make sure it lasts. That's all we got time for today. Pod Clock has spoken. Q&A. We'll do another episode in a couple weeks. We'll see. We'll see how things go. Anything else to leave us with today, Mark?
The last quarter left of the year at this point in time, so keep your foot on the gas. A lot of stress in the air at this point in time. Do not, when you're driving into work in the morning, listen to the news. I don't care what side you're on, so that's not going to set you up to have a good day. So listen to some Leonard Skinner or Metallica or friggin' Iron Maiden on the way into work. Maybe even a little Judas Priest might be a good one. So, roll the windows down, turn the volume up, and get to work ready to go and have another great day.
Control the controllables. Control what's happening in your 4 walls. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, don't worry about all the stuff. So no drama.
It's all noise. We'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Yep. Appreciate you riding with us on Raw and Unscripted. KSU. We'll be back next week with more ways to rev up your dealership success. Until next time, keep the throttle wide.